The Africa America Institute was founded in 1953 to support bright, promising African students in their pursuit of higher education in the U.S. Since that time, AAI has evolved into a vital hub for strengthening the capacity of African talent and institutions and creating programs on entrepreneurship, vocational and technical training, and thought leadership. AAI's programs are equipping Africa's youth with the skills and confidence to become the chief economic drivers in their communities and leveraging its convening power to shape policies and promote greater engagement between Africa and the United States.
Africa America Institute is probably the most renowned of the American philanthropic institutions focused on education in Africa.
It has a long history of bringing people together, of highlighting important initiatives around education, around growth, around innovation that are just so important for Africa's development, and they're so important for America's development.
What is our mission? It's to increase the capacity of African nationals, to increase the capacity of African institutions, and to serve as a convener of thought leaders on issues that are of importance to Africa.
The majority of the citizens of Africa today are young people. People under the age of 25.
In its yearly Talent Summit, AAI gathers outstanding individuals interested in working in or with Africa to connect with employers from the corporate, government, and nonprofit worlds, and explores the unique character of the African diasporan experience.
And when you add the perspective, a hybrid perspective of the diasporan to your existing workforce, you are bound to have change.
I think one of the beautiful things that has happened is that you now have African diaspora entrepreneurs returning to their country.
And for anyone who's considering moving back to Africa, who might be thinking about opportunities in Africa, this Talent Summit is a great opportunity.
Partnering with top universities in Africa, AAI's Transformational Leadership Program provides management skills to leaders of African NGOs and small businesses, focusing on leadership, resource management, and community engagement.
Leaders are not born, they are made. So anybody out there can be a good leader.
In every strata that you are, lead where you are. Just lead where you are.
We have seen so many new and interesting developing technologies coming out of Africa, and the best way to further develop those is through education of the young.
Education is at the heart of AAI's core mission. Its annual State of the Education in Africa conference brings together educators and innovators to offer bold solutions to improving education at all levels in Africa.
We need to pay attention to three things: the purpose of education, the mission of education, and the means by which we educate our kids.
Economy is important, but without education, you won't get to the economy. So for AAI to be interested in this, I think is just a blessing.
I come from a country, Liberia, that's probably one of the poorest countries in the world, and where education is not easily accessible. I think that I was given this opportunity to get an education, and I cannot let it go. And I want to help other people, and AAI helps me help others.
Denton's really believes in AAI, and Denton's really believes in Africa. And the thing that we really appreciate about AAI is that it's about dialogue. It's about two ways. It's about us trying to do something that is beneficial to Africa, but it is also about us learning from Africa.
The Institute has a long and rich history of proactive engagement on Africa, and today's forum is also timely and significant in terms of the subject matter.
But it's the undercurrent that you feel when you talk to the people and the optimism that the local people have for Africa to make that change, help grow the middle class, help grow the business environment in Africa.
It is also important that the Africans on their side, and I imagine Ambassador Mulamula will speak to this, put in place the trade policies and the investment policies that will support greater trade and investment.
So the issue is really the capacity. It's both the human capacity, the capacity to be able to produce, to address the supply constraints, but also the capacity to meet the standards you're talking about.
I can't think of very many institutions that are better placed to do that than AAI. You are an organization that truly has one foot in Africa and one foot in the United States.
Whenever you give, And I'm not talking about charity, I mean engagement and education and healthcare, and you always get back more than you give.
The African American Institute, as your motto says, you educate and you connect the world.
Any institution that's trying to help a country like that, I want to be a part of. I want to work with. And today you proved exactly why someone should want to be a part of AAI, because you're giving, others opportunities that are not readily available.
And I think it's significant as people turn their eyes toward Africa that they see Africa as a continent of opportunity, a continent of hope, a continent where there is innovation, where there are very, very good things happening. And I think that AAI has been instrumental in being sure that people understand all of the good things that are going on in Africa.
So AAI, keep it up.